Hello everyone, and welcome to this edition of Insurance Talk. Today we're going to talk about auto liability insurance and answer the question, is state minimum enough? First, allow me to quickly explain liability insurance. This is a coverage for bodily injury and property damage you cause to another party, i.e. it's your fault. Liability coverage is used to pay for medical expenses and property damage. And again, something that you caused. Now, I was recently told by one of my clients, all I need is state minimum of liability. So I said, let's talk about it. Now, of course, each state requires you to carry a minimum amount of auto liability. In most states, the minimum coverage is 25-50-25, meaning no more than $25,000 per person for bodily injury, not to exceed $50,000 total for all those injured, and property damage not to exceed $25,000. So my client replied, so what's the big deal about that? The premium for state minimum liability is the lowest rate, thus the cheapest you can buy. So I had to tell my client to keep in mind state minimum may not be enough coverage. See, buying the minimum amount of liability coverage can expose you to paying out-of-pocket costs for losses incurred after an accident. The issue is, what if the cost for the loss exceeds the minimum liability coverage, and depending on the loss, the cost may be steep. This is why the insurance industry recommends liability coverage start at $100,000 per person for bodily injury, not to exceed $300,000 total for all injured, and property damage not to exceed $100,000. Now, don't get me wrong. I do understand state minimum may be a suitable option due to your financial situation. Conversely, if you have financial assets to protect, you may want to add an umbrella coverage to your policy. Now, I bring this up because the minimum requirement to add an umbrella is $100, $300, $100 in most cases. So keep in mind, umbrella coverage is definitely worth considering if you have teenage and young adult drivers on your policy. Back to auto liability and state minimum coverage. Now, I would definitely avoid state minimum coverage if possible. Why? The insurance industry has determined that state minimum provides limited protection. So, there you have it, folks. The choice is yours. You must balance circumstance and finance when determining what level of liability coverage works for you. Now, if this content was helpful, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And shoot me a comment if you don't mind. Now, if you're looking for insurance and a financial professional, as I always like to say, call Jay today. Thanks for listening.